Welcome back to Workday Good Lap Great Lap. This week, Gasly and Tsunoda in the two AlphaTauris took each other on in Q3 in Baku last year. We can see they're both flat out on the throttle down this long front straight from the telemetry trace right at the top of the telemetry screen before they hit the brakes, which we'll see from the brake blocks at the bottom of the screen. Gasly with a little more speed due to a distant toe from the car arcing into turn 1. We'll see that a little later on. For now though, we're going to see both drivers take very similar lines through the middle of turn 1. But turn 2 is where the difference really comes. Check out how much the cars are bouncing over the bumps, showing both cars relatively stiff at the front end. Gasly has a better technique in dealing with this, braking slightly earlier, taking a few kilometers per hour more mid-corner speed and peeling the steering wheel out towards the outside wall, getting aggressively in the throttle, and although he gets a little bit of oversteer, he's able to carry a few more kilometers per hour through the exit. Turn 3 is a very similar process, with Gasly getting in the brakes a little earlier and able to release the front to turn, peeling out towards the outside wall and borrowing extra space. Tsunoda misses the apex of turn 4, which gives Gasly further time as he takes more apex speed. Tsunoda slows the car down slightly more than Gasly, not using the extra bit of track between 5 and 6, the same way that Gasly does. You can see he ends up slower in the middle of the two corners of the chicane, is unhappy with his apex speed and puts the throttle on. He then pushes the front slightly wide of turn 6, which means he's then again slower on the exit, allowing Gasly to take further time away from him on the run down towards turn 7. Both drivers are very similar in turn 7, but Tsunoda picks up this bit of detritus on his front right tyre, either affecting his confidence or his grip through this castle section in both the left-handers of turn 10 and turn 12. He also pinches the steering wheel slightly through the exit of turn 12, where Gasly runs the car a little wider, allowing him to get on the throttle a tiny bit earlier and take a few more kilometers an hour out onto this long loaded straight section. The loss for Tsunoda will be compounded as he continues to slightly overturn the car through this long loaded section. Gasly running the car right out to the white line, whereas Tsunoda pinches the car slightly inside the white line, making the car work harder to push the front tyre across the road. Turn 15, the drivers are very similar indeed, but it's turn 16 where Tsunoda manages to grab back a little time, acing the apex, turning in a little bit later and having to use less total lock through the corner by arresting the car's slide on the outside curb, using the angulation of the curb to push the car forward and off down the straight. It's then a long flat-out run with the telemetry data right at the top of the trace, but Gasly has a final trick up his sleeve. He had a car heading into turn 1 ahead of him. He'll now pick up a distant toe as they head down the front straight. You'll see the telemetry data brake and gain and brake again as he moves in and out of this toe from a long way away from the car ahead, but it is worth almost 1/10 of a second as he heads down towards the line for what will be a great lap of Baku to put him P4 on the grid against Tsunoda's P8.